And then let's post on Bluesky about it. Hi, kitty. Hi. I'm not ready for you to sit there yet. Okay, we posted on Bluesky. Let me run the bot. Oh, that's my leg you're clawing there, kitty. That's my leg. Okay. Yes, hello, kitty. Hello, Mr. Kitty. Let's play some music, too. Or else it'll be very quiet and boring. Alright, DJ some music. Now, let's play the game. Okay. Is that an acceptable start for both of them? It's not really great for green. Two, three red ship cap. That's not going to do it. Peasants. And you have a site. That'll do it. We want to kill that site hound? I mean, that'll fuck them up. Played that death animation twice. And it didn't go to 0. Alright. Did something break? Why did that not automatically end the turn? Ah, something did break. Copy that for later. Hi, Mr. Kitty Cat. I'm Mr. Kitty Cat, yes, I know. As soon as I get on screen, we magically know that it's time to sit in my lap. Oh. You do. You magically know. Okay. You have peasants, you have nothing. Okay. Alright, that'll do. Well, I want to annihilate that snake. We'll sit on it. Which one's at pizza with music? I don't know, man. That sounds kind of appealing. Yeah, Twitch runs ads, and like you can turn off the pre-rolls, but it makes you run so many more ads. It's like such a catch-22 for people who stream. It's so annoying. Oh, thanks for following. Because like, if I know a lot of people that run ads to turn off the pre-rolls, but then you have to run like a couple minutes of ads every like 40 minutes. Whereas if you leave pre-rolls on, it's just 2 pre-roll ads, like 30 seconds of pre-rolls. Less overall ads. But it's probably worse, but also, I don't know. I always want pizza. Okay, can't play those, that's correct. Waiting for player and flashing that snake. You know what? Why not? Now you have no fucking mana, so. Did you do all the pixel art? Looks really good. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I mean, I drew all this temporary art because it's terrible. It'll all get replaced. Yeah, it's temporary. Some of them have like better art that my girlfriend drew, but you can tell which ones are mine. So I want to get rid of that spell slinger. Not right now. But we will take out their mana base. Are you controlling both hands? Yeah. I mean, this is just to pan. Everything else is mouse, but I did add in mouse, whatever you call it. Mouse controls, so you can do it with just a mouse. Alright, well. Don't have the mana to do anything. Red is a little OP. Once I actually balance the game, they need Earth. But they also don't have. So sure, we can play this. Flipping, it's not going to do much at this point. Yeah, the edge movement doesn't really feel that great right now. I feel like I need to do something. Wait, this costs 0 to equip? Weird. Well, let's just hit them. And green is just gonna sit here, unable to do anything. Both sides getting mana screwed. Right. You can play that. Damage that. Response will heal it. So it shouldn't die. Cancelled targets invalid. Oh, because it's tapped. And that can only do an untapped one. Got it. Alright, time to see if this Spell Slinger works properly. Oh, it did. It increased 3 times. That green is really fucking hard to read. I need to change that. Hey, kitty. Are you ever going to get something to use as mana? Busy, so I won't be able to stay for long. Hi. Loving the updates. I do certainly post on Bluesky way too much. But thanks. I, hope it ends up fun. I can barely play it. Feels like magic, though. Do you have? Oh, plenty of instants to play. What does this do? Ship spell damage, counter 1, remove. Oh god. There's no way that card works. Let's try it. I've definitely never attempted to use that card. Should it be switching phases soon? 4 turns, no attacks, current 2. Spider, thank goodness. For mana. It's an item. Try to destroy that Spell Slinger before it gets too out of hand. Okay, that seemed to work. That's the first time I think I've ever destroyed an equipment. Work. Ooh, I need that red moonstone real bad. And to continue controlling their mana. Alright, that smite is too strong. I was copying Shock from Magic, but when you can hit their mana with it, it's too strong. I'll keep playing it out, but that needs to go away. The red's about to start fucking some shit up, as green continues to do nothing. At least it's getting some mana out. Putting that Leshy out there would not be nothing. Oh god, though. These chain lightnings are all gonna do double damage. At least I nerfed it, so it... Oh shit, what broke now? Move cam, self-focus card, and it didn't have... Oh, it was trying to move the camera to something that isn't a card. That doesn't make any sense. Why would it be doing that? I mean, I understand it's because I targeted the ship. But it should have never even gotten to that point. Goes in. Wait for response. No. Okay, it was in the resolving step. Seriously though, I like never used social media in it before, and been using Bluesky, and it's motherfucking addicting. I'm addicted. It's terrible. All right, so wait for response. When did you move the camera? Oh, probably this? Check on-screen move. I don't even remember what that is. Targets. Which target is not none? It should be on screen now. So I need to check. Oh, it's this. I only want to move. Kitty, you know it's really warm in here. Your fur doesn't help. Actually, maybe I want to pass it through. I should just make it if it's not a ship. Because the ship's always on screen. Except when it's not. Bye, kitty. And let's nerf that smite. Oh yeah, what method is that? That should be fine. Might, you need to be 1 and a red. More things on TCG players. God, I already have so many TCG player orders to get together. I got other things to do, Giddy. Alright, did not finish a game. They've got 2 spiders, which would be great if they had a 0 cost. That ship cat is really annoying to get in your opening hand. Alright, this is fine. This is fine openers for both of them. I need to figure out mulligan rules and implement them. Instead of just continually redoing it. It's such... okay. And I do need to make those arrows more noticeable, I think. Did that just move the I wasn't paying attention. I don't know if that moved the camera improperly or not. We want to save that something more valuable than a snake. That card seems OP. Hey, hey, hey! No, 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 no! You don't need to. You do not need to take that route to get over there. Come here, come here. You want to go that way? Go this way. There you go. Dummy almost jumped right into the camera. Oh, it auto-jumped. I forgot I built that. That was nice. It auto-jumped over to the only option. Tap for mana. Ooh. So he's gonna try to take out that spider, and even if I heal, I can't do shit about it because that thing's ship cannons are OP. But let's play this out in a dumb way. Play the cat. Damage the spider. Oh, because it's only on. Keep forgetting. Heal the snake so it doesn't die. Then it takes 1. Oh, and the target's invalid because I tapped it. Thought about that. But let's smack this spider. Wait, why do I even... I don't have a response. Why? Let's say I don't actually want to take out the snake, but let's say I do. Waiting. Oh, it's waiting for me. Right. So that is moving. I have the background moving. So you know it's selectable even when it's tapped, but it's still really hard to see. I think it's funny. Last time I was testing the game, it was nobody from Bluesky here, but all my friends who used to watch me stream. And now it's none of them, but all people from Bluesky. Let's play the Moonstone instead of controlling the rest of their mana. Alright, so now we've got this. Its effect is still good. We only have 1 mana. Might as well, I don't know, attack them for... Ooh. Oh, the red Moonstone affects both sides. I forgot. Jesus, my own game is too complicated for me. Oh god, another one? Do it. Player can shatter? Probably should. They got that Ica out with 2 red Moonstones, that'd be a problem. Alright, I have another one of these. Peasants, that'll help. Oh yeah, I completely forgot how they even worked. Right, so... I don't think I want to lock that mana down for that. We'll play this Gwendolyn Speed. Another Call of the Pack. Sure. What the hell broke now? Player? It's the same thing. It's the same thing as last time. I guess I didn't fix it. Oh, hey, Incus. That's a name I recognize for sure. Anyway, this is in the same fucking spot, isn't it? How come this one doesn't log its name like everything else? But it's definitely in that. So... quick and dirty solution. Oh man, can't believe I haven't even napped. I actually slept for like a week in a row. It's so weird being awake in the middle of the day. Alright, And that game was going great. Wasn't too unbalanced in either direction. Disappointed that it broke. Oh gosh, 3 Rupee Larson. But other side doesn't have anything. Alright, this will be fine. This will attack, sure. I'm not gonna use Fire the Cannon to kill my own thing. Get over here, the clear Mortal Kombat ripoff. Yeah, the real art is gonna have to be less obviously ripoffs. Probably. It's perfect. Yeah, my art is the thing. The spider is definitely gonna get killed. Waiting for opponent to do what? Oh. I think Red Moonstone here is the most popular. At least that's what everyone said they like. Oh, I didn't even notice who that was. That was the fishing minigame guy. I love that account. Is there a fishing minigame? Oh god, this is too rough. I can kill the spider with that. There has to be some other downside to these Fire the Cannons other than they're useless outside of shit phase. It's too effective at controlling the opponent's mana. But I did take out all the other cards. Oh well, whatever. We'll kill their other cards. Green is pretty damn doomed. Oh, maybe not. I wonder if Mammon's ability works at all. I've never, it's never come up. Partially because the red deck doesn't do anything that targets. It could only counter its own thing. Oh my god, come on. You drew all 4 of these? Well, I am sorry, Green. That is just some bad luck. You don't get to play the game because they drew all 4 of their 0-cost removal. This should apply twice, right? Yeah, 3 then 2. Oh, and a ship cat. but it would only be able to target itself, so I'm not gonna play. And green drew nothing again. Oh, whoops. Shouldn't have played that. It can only kill one of its own creatures. Good job. Good job, me. Play this, see if it works. As green continues to draw on the... What's it do? Oh, damage 1A. Yeah, I guess we'll just attack. Oh, that should end the ship phase. Ah, there we go. This game is over as fuck. And I just want to see if the game over works. Alright, none of them can attack now. Is that? Oh, I can remove its counters, but there aren't any counters on it. Another small thing. Another cornflower wraith. I'll take it. 2 damage at a time. And it broke again. How? I just added it to make sure that it was not a player. There were targets. There was one target. Not his instance ship. Not his instance player. There was a player. Oh, hey, Xena. Oh. Oh. That ought to fix it. Hey, Ducky. It's good. I'm good. I have not... This is the 3rd day in a row that I've not napped. I'm like finally caught up on sleep a little bit. I'm like only, I mean, I'm still exhausted all the time, but I'm like less exhausted. I didn't sleep well last night. I slept for 12 hours. Yeah, but it was 12 hours without the CPAP, so it doesn't even count. It was the previous days. The, like, 4 days in a row of 6 to 8 hours with the CPAP. That's what did it. Will you stop drawing every fucking one of these fire the cannons? It is broken. I mean, it's not broken. I mean, it kind of is broken. Broken if you draw all of them. And that's back-to-back games of having 2 of them in its opening hand. You know, I'm restarting until they stop drawing every fucking one of those. Stupid red and its god hand. Red Moon's everyone's favorite. Yeah. I don't even know what's going on with Skarbnik. You think this game will be easy enough for you to pick up? Easy? No. I want my game. My game is because I feel like games that are aimed at women are often overly simple, and I think that women should have complex games too. Watch Joey stream it. I mean, it's basically just like Magic. I didn't mean about gender, I know, but that's like... My intent is to not, like... I want my game to be friendly and accessible to women, but I also do not want it to be dumbed down because of that. But yeah, it's gonna be complicated, but we'll see. I did add a simpler mode. Where you get rid of all the instant speed cards. So that makes it easier. You know what? Sure, let's just fuck up their whole mana base. Gonna need a kindergarten mode. Well, you're like the test. So I'm gonna have to make a tutorial that's good enough to get you to understand the game. You and my mom are the test. A quick rundown of the anatomy of a card? Yeah, sure. Let me switch into the full screen now. So the top left are their affiliations, which is like whether they're pirates or the various Slavic gods and goddesses. Those have some synergies with each other, but mostly not in the cards that are in these decks. Trying to think. Skarbnik here has one, because it discounts specifically Svarog equipment. Then this is the mana cost. This is attack and HP. This is the card type. So this is a spirit, which is a type of crew. That's a beast. It's equipment. Name. Down here are the speed. So normal speed means you can only cast on your turn when the stack is empty. Instant speed can be cast at any time, but only in response to things. And then there are slow ones where you cast it and you pay this turn, and then the effect happens on your next turn. This is the size that it takes, because each ship has a different space. Like, you can only fit 9 things. Well, you have a space of 9. A lot of these are tiny, so they don't take up... Like, this is a cat, right? A cat doesn't take up much space, so it has the size of 0. And then in the bottom right is what they tap for, if they provide mana. So that these all tap for 1 red mana. And then the center is the abilities. And I think that's it. All of it has hover text. So, like, which of these are equipment? This is, like, if I played this Skarbnik now, it would reduce this spear from 1 and 2 red to just 2 red, but it would not reduce this, because this is not a Svarog equipment. With casting speed, I'm very used to MTG. Yes, it is very similar to Magic. And yeah, it's easier to play because there's hover text on everything. Let's see. Heal my shit, how about? Waiting for player. Oh, because I have another heal. Very much like Magic, yeah. Except the big difference is that there are multiple phases, right? So red is red, just like Magic. It wants to just burn your face off. So it wants to play in ship phase. Whereas green down here doesn't. Ship phase basically means that your creatures can't attack themselves. They can only use your ship's cannons to attack. Each ship has an attack and is reduced by the other ship's speed. So red is perfectly happy sitting there and attacking you in ship phase, but once it gets to crew phase, where you can't use the ship cannons anymore and your creatures have to attack themselves, red gets much, much weaker. Because then all it has is a bunch of really weak-ass creatures and direct damage spells that it might have used... that it probably used up already. So it switches between phases whenever the decks are a deck is 2/3 of the way full. One of the ships goes under 50% HP, or if it's 4 turns with no attacks. Well, because this is inspired by Skies of Arcadia, the Dreamcast RPG, and that's how battles work in Skies of Arcadia. At least the bosses. You fight them, and you do like ship-to-ship combat, and then crew-to-crew combat. So basically, green wants to move to ship phase, and red doesn't. But also, if you look... It looks like red is busted as shit, because it does 5 damage with its cannon's attack, and, like, has all these burn spells. But this ship in particular, the mono red ship, because it's controlled by... What you can put in your deck is controlled by your ship. So the mono red one has, like, 17 HP total. Like, if I go look at each ship has they all have their own stats and different colors. So the only way you can play more than 2 colors is if you do a colorless ship. But the rest, all have their own stats. They have HP, attack, they have different hand sizes, different number of draws per turn, speeds, different space on the board. Come on. So the ship controls everything. Oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot you redeemed for a treat. Hold on. Here you go, kid. I forgot, but the cat did not. Do I still have some liquid treats? Yes, I do. How do you like my bouncing DVD logo? Oh, hello, Techno Blaze. Thanks for following. Right, back into that fight. Because Red was smoking them again. Another red moonstone. And then that'll make that chain lightning deal 9. So, if I'm planning here, well, yeah, I feel like red's just way stronger than green. Oh, I could have replied, or I could have responded there, but I didn't make my arrows noticeable enough. Hi, Pika. How have you been? I haven't seen you in a while. Assassins are bad in League. Well, that's nothing new. Aren't assassins always bad? Do I want to attack? I want to attack because I'll untap at the end of the round. So as soon as it switches over, I might as well attack them. I'll still have that heal up. Giga grinded Monster Hunter. Nice. Got a new job in real life or in Monster Hunter? Real life? Nice. That's better than Monster Hunter job. Okay, so you can hit them in the face for a lot. So let's just damage the player, but in response, let's also heal the player. Now... no art yet? Hey, last time I streamed, that was all of them. I made a bunch of art in the meantime. Anyway, what is your new job? Jobs suck, I hate them. Oh, we're in a crew phase. Red could have planned that better. But also, green can't do shit. Too many people got a new place in a chem lab. Metal test thingies. I don't know what that means, but sweet. I hate jobs. I don't want one. I'm ready to move to Poland. Samples from metal, and you check what stuff is in there. Check for impurities. Might as well heal myself in response. Why did that only restore 1? Oh. Must be getting reduced by the red moonstones on accident. We need to get more coal. Alright, well, that's another thing to fix. What else you got? Fight him again. Down to 9. But red ran out of direct damage spells. Oh, that was tapped. I was gonna say, that should not have ended the turn. Alright, I can play 2 peasants, but that doesn't help me. Well, I can play this Gwendolyn's Spear. And then I can equip it to a peasant. That row should get moved down. How's my life been? It's fine. It's boring. I'm so bored of my corporate job. I'm also, the country is falling apart. The US is falling apart. So I'm ready to go to Poland. I'm probably like next year, I'm moving to Poland. I'm buying a place and paying it off. And I'm gonna try to get by being an indie game dev. That's the plan. What is this? This isn't usable. Why are you showing up as usable? Oh, because I can equip you, unequip you, and equip you to something else. Well, now red can at least attack. Spider, that is a godsend. Entire world is semi-falling apart? Yeah, I know. That's why I wanna buy a place and pay it off before my money's worthless. Alright, I never tested if this ever worked, so I have no idea if it's gonna work. Oh my god, that's so many messages. Cancelled, targets invalid. That should not have happened. Let me check to see that it had proper targets in the first place. Yeah. Mouse motion events. Once you heal trigger, it's going to heal the snake and the spider. Is that correct, at least? Yes. That's what it should have healed. Okay, another spear. Oh, we can block. Forgot blocking was a thing. Because I've never tested it. Yes, it broke. Yep, definitely never tested blocking before. Alright. I think that's enough testing for today, so I think I'm gonna get off, because I honestly didn't really want to stream. I just wanted to test the game and get some more things to work on. And the big thing here, gonna be getting the blocking to work. But I got plenty to work on, so I think I'm done for now. So thanks everyone for stopping by, even though it was really short. I'll see you another time.